Hey guys, it's your girl Didi and I'm back again with another video. So today's video is gonna be about my traumatic experiences and why I don't smoke anymore. Like, smoking is not for everybody, and that's just the truth. When people, they don't have issues from it, and they can smoke it and nothing happens to them. But then there's people like me. There's people like me that I just I go insane. I go crazy. I'm just gonna tell you the story. In my lifetime, I've smoked about maybe 10 times. Out of those 10 times, 5 of those times was very traumatic, and the first time that happened, I should have known, like, duh, this for me. Your girl's stubborn. I was young, I was dumb, I was trying to fit in with the crowd, and 2020, I'm realizing that I'm different and it's okay to be different. I'm not like everybody else. I don't do what everybody else does, and that is okay. That is a good thing. So, the first time I smoked, it wasn't that bad. And I feel like there's a certain grade of that is stronger or less stronger than others, and that also affects the way your body, your mind reacts. But the first time I had smoked, nothing serious happened. Like, it was pretty chill. And this was when I was going to Century College, and my friend, I'm not going to name names, but we're just going to call her B. And I feel like because I felt really comfortable around her and it was just her and I, and there was nobody else there, that I didn't have any weird side effects. I didn't go crazy or anything. Like, it was really just chill. I felt very relaxed. But the second time I smoked, this had been with my then best friend. Now, this friend, we had went to school together. I'm gonna call her M. She was my best friend. We did everything together. We hung out like every weekend. We were that friend group, And she had, the last year, she had went to a different school, and I had stayed at the same school. But after she had graduated, I had graduated, we kind of fell out for like a year. And I hit her up one day. I was just like, you know what? I want to go see my friend. I want to go see, connect with her again. So we hung out a few times, and it was cool. I did feel like, both of us had changed. Like, everybody grows up and they're different. We're not the same as we grow. So, like, the third time we were hanging out, I was telling her that I was single. I wasn't really looking for a guy, but I was just like, it would be nice if I could have a boyfriend. She was telling me about her boyfriend's cousin. And she was telling me how he's really sweet and he's really, like, quiet. And she made it seem like he was the perfect fit for me, because I'm quiet when I first meet somebody, but when I get to know them, I get comfortable and I get loud. He just sounded like this perfect guy. What she did not mention to me is that he smokes hell. She told me that he smoked, which is fine. I know so many people that smoke. Like, it's just what it is. It's 2020. It was 2018 at the time. People were smoking everywhere. Like, there was not one time where I left the house and I did not smell it in the air, in the atmosphere. So I didn't really have a problem with the fact that he smoked. She didn't tell me, the part that she missed telling me is that how often he smoked. Okay, I'm really bad at storytelling, so let me just, like, try to do it where it makes sense. And she hooked me up with her cousin. And, like, the weekend, I think it was like a Saturday or something, I had went to her house, and he was gonna pick me up from her house, and we were gonna go eat, and just, he was gonna take me out on a date. When I met him, he was so fine. He was tall, he was handsome. Oh my gosh, he was just everything. Like, I was in love. and he gave me the warmest hug, and I was just like, oh my god, like this guy's so cute. Anyway, so like he was so sweet. Oh my god, my hair. And he had a nice ass car, like, and the first alarm that should have went off in my freaking head is when before we even got in the car, you know, he had met me and we gave each other a hug, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, and we were like getting to know each other. Before we left, he said, okay, before we go, I'm just gonna go like smoke with my cousin real quick. I was like, okay, whatever. He went and did that. Took about maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. Then yeah, he had opened the car door for me, and he was just being so sweet. And he got in the car and we started driving to Olive Garden. Sometimes I think back and I'm like, damn, like the whole situation is just kind of sad, because he was actually a really good guy. He was a good person. It just kind of just went, I'll turn to shit, really. So we got to Olive Garden, and I was gonna open my car door, but he was like, no, like, let me get it. And he opened the car door for me, and then he also opened the door for me to Olive Garden. I went in, and then we ate, and he paid for my food. And he, like, a guy has never, like, said this to me. We were, like, looking at the menu, right? And he was like, you pick whatever you want, like, it doesn't matter, like, what it is, just whatever you want, you can have. And I was like, oh my god, okay. So I got fettuccine Alfredo. That stuff is so good. That's my favorite food. And he got the same thing. And he was just like so open with me, and I really genuinely felt like I could talk to him. That's the amazing thing, which I had never felt with anybody. Like, I could genuinely like talk to him, and we talked for so long. Like, we talked for, I don't even know how long it was before we even left. I think it was like maybe an hour and a half. And yeah, he was just really sweet. When we left, he paid the bill, and then he didn't want to leave yet, and I didn't want to leave yet either. I still wanted to like chill with him. So another red alarm was on the way there. This man smoked about 3 blunts on the way there. Like, and he just kept popping them one after another. Like, are you gonna take a break, or are you just gonna keep smoking? And me being stupid, I was smoking too. And like, I don't even smoke for real, but I was smoking. And yeah, for somehow he didn't say anything like, are you a newbie? Or, because I swear I wasn't doing it right. So anyway, fast forward. When we got done eating dinner, then he pulls out another blunt and he smokes it in. And I'm just like, damn. And he would offer it to me, and I can say no, but I was being stupid and I was smoking it too. Like, sometimes I would think back and I'm like, what was I doing? But anyway, so he didn't want to drop me off, and I didn't want to go home either, because we were just having such a good time, like just talking. We were talking about everything. We were talking about, you know, because I told him that sometimes I suffer with social anxiety, and he was like, oh yeah, I have that too, and how I suffer with anxiety in general. And he was like, oh yeah, I suffer with that too. And like, you know, we were just talking, like having a real good conversation. We had probably hung out for like a good 5 hours, and but still, like every 10 minutes this man was smoking. Like, so he finally drops me off, and it was beautiful. I went to bed so happy. I was just like, he was so cute. Me being antsy, I wanted to see him again, and he said he wanted to see me again too. So we went that next weekend, and I was at work that day, and like the day we were gonna hang out, and I remember I had a knot in my stomach, and I didn't know where it was coming from. I thought I was just exaggerating, like, and I kept thinking about the date I was having tonight, and I was just like, I was so nervous. I had a knot in my stomach, and I just kept getting really nervous. When I got home, I immediately got ready. I told my mom where I was going, I didn't tell her who I was going with, but I just said I'm going out to see my friend. And, you know, just lying. Just that I shouldn't have done. But anyway, so we went. He picked me up from my house, and he had his friend in the car. And I was like, okay, if we're hanging out, like, why is your friend in the car? I was thinking that to myself. He had drove, and they drove to a spot, and they were, like, smoking again. He had dropped his friend off, and so then the plan was to go to his house. Now, that's another red flag. I shouldn't have went to his house on the second date. I feel like I should meet with the person at least, like, maybe 3 times, like, outside of the house, you know, to get to know them. We had went to his house, and like, he kept smoking again, like, every 10 minutes, okay? And I was doing it too, okay? Being dumb, being stupid. So when we got there, I was already high, okay? But when we were at his house, it was like evening time, so we were chilling in his room, watching Netflix, and then he pulled out some edibles. I shouldn't even have. I was already high, and I was already like, I shouldn't have ate it, but I did. And he didn't even offer it to me. That's the thing. I just said, oh, is that edibles? Let me try some. I did. Like, I don't even know. I swear to God, it was like this little. I only ate like this much. And at first I was fine. And, you know, 30 minutes went by and we're like cuddling at this point. Then I stood up and I'm like, I start feeling like my head is hot. Like my head is on fire. Like I'm feeling like my head is on fire. And this is where the paranoia starts to set in. But it felt so real. It's so weird. Like it felt so real. It felt like literally my head was on fire. So I sit up and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel so well. And he's like saying, oh no, you're fine. Like, you're fine. And I was like, I don't know, I feel really weird. And then the room started spinning like, I don't know what. It felt like, have you ever been to a carnival and on one of those rides where it was like going like this? Bruh. The room was spinning like, I couldn't see shit, bro. Like, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is happening to me? And meanwhile, my head still feels like it's on fire, and I'm freaking. I was tweaking. I was tweaking real bad. I get up and I'm like, am I just a switch? Like something like my paranoia. Like I started to think, oh, this man is trying to kill me, and it was really funny because I put myself in that situation. Anyway, so I'm freaking out. I stand up and I'm like, okay, I need to leave. I know I look crazy and I'm bug-eyed. I'm like, and I'm telling him, I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. The room is spinning. My head is hot. And he like he was being so sweet though. He tried to calm me down. He was rubbing my back. You know, he was just being real sweet. And he gave me some Benadryl. And at first, I remember I was telling him, no, I'm not. You're trying to poison me. You try to poison me. You try to kill me. You try to kill me. And oh my God. So I'm telling him this, and he's like looking at me like, and I'm like, and then I try to snap out of it. I try to, but it's like I'm gone. Like me is gone, and I'm in like fight or flight mode. And I calm down a little bit, and I take the Benadryl, and because he's rubbing my back, and I feeling he's trying to comfort me as best he can. My head is starting to feel hotter, okay? I'm feeling like my head is blazing on fire. So I stand up and I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So I grab my purse, and he's like, wait, no, don't go. And I can't even hear, but I go up the stairs, and I remember I can't even see, like going up the stairs, I can't even see. And I'm like, where's the door? So I get the doorknob, right, and I open it, and then I don't even know. I open the door and I start running, and mind you, it's like, I think it was It was like the end of summer. It was like August. And so I'm running. I don't even know where I'm running to, but I remember I see a house and my eyes are set on that house. I can't really see, but my eyes are set on that house. So I'm running to the house, and then something in me is telling me, like, trying to, snap me out of it. So I start walking real slow, and I'm like, wait a minute, if I go to this house and ring the doorbell and tell them I'm in trouble, then he's gonna get in trouble. So I was like, you know what, no, I'm just gonna sit here. So I go down on the grass, and I'm like trying to calm down, and I just turn to him. I tell him, I'm like, okay, just take me home. And he's like, okay. And then he calls my friend M, and my friend, because in this situation made me realize you really can't trust everybody. Like, people that you think are your friends, and I'm not talking about the guy, because it's not his fault at all. Your friends. Just what she says next really blew me away. So he calls my friend, and he's like, oh my God, your friend, she's tweaking real hard. Like, I need your help. Can I bring her to your house? And she's like, nope, not my problem, and hangs up. But I get it, because I did put her in a very rough situation. It's not obligated to take me in, but as a friend, like, I just felt like really like I'm in a time where at this point, at that point, I really thought I was dying. And I needed my friend. That really just broke me. I was just like, wow. And I'll forever be sorry for that, because it's not her job. And when he gets off the phone, I'm in shock, and I'm about to cry, because I'm like, I needed her at that point, and she just dissed me like that. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm like really thinking I'm gonna die out here. I don't know this guy that well, and I'm trying to trust him as much as I can, but my paranoia was skyrocketing. I was trying to snap myself out of it, go and be in real life like, hey, like, he's trying to help you. But it was like hard. He drives me to my friend M's house, okay? I get there, and she looks pissed off. And I don't blame her, because I didn't have to eat that edible. I didn't have to smoke. I did it because I wanted to. But not realizing that my body can't take it. I just did the most. Like, I smoked and I ate an edible. Dumbest decision of my life, okay? We were walking around, she's trying to have me walk it off. I was like, oh, okay, is she gonna stay here, or do you want me to bring her home? I just said, just bring me home. I don't want to inconvenience anybody anymore. And at this point, I'm calming down, but I'm starting to shake, though. He drove me home, and it was the most silent ride ever. And when I got home, I didn't even say nothing. I just left, because I was like shaking. I slept for like 10 hours. I was exhausted. And then when I woke up, she sent me a message, and she's like, you really ruined it. And I was like, yeah, I know. But then I texted him, and then it's just a whole demeanor, like his whole demeanor changed. Like, he was not this sweet gentleman guy that I thought he was. Said, I'm really sorry about last night. I shouldn't have put you guys in that situation. And I was just going on about like how sorry I was. And he's like, I don't want to talk. And just calling me all these names and calling me all these derogatory terms. And I was heartbroken. I was just like, damn, like, is that how you really feel? After that, I got that text. I tried to message my friend M, and I was just telling her, like, I feel really bad. Like, it's gonna take me a while to get over this. And then she blocks me. People are gonna take stuff differently. If I was in their situation, I wouldn't turn my back on somebody that went through that, personally. But, everybody's different. Not everybody has the same heart. Not everybody is caring and sympathetic. That just told me who my real friends are, who is gonna be there for me. And it also told me not to be a dumb and don't do stuff that you shouldn't be doing. I learned a lot from that situation, and I no longer smoke. If you are gonna smoke, honestly, you shouldn't smoke at all. I feel like it alters your mindset, and only some people can handle it. But if you're like me and you already have like mental issues, it literally alters your mindset to a whole different level. Like, it alters it. And I felt crazy for a long time after that situation. Like, I literally felt crazy. I felt like I was hearing stuff, and I would have flashbacks of that night, and it really messed me up, to be honest. So if you're like me and you're very sensitive to things like that, I suggest you don't do it. But if you are gonna smoke, and if it's your first time, even if it's not your first time, if you do smoke, I would suggest you smoke with people you know and that you trust, and that people that will have your back if something were to happen. That story was my worst smoking experience. So don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. That just teaches anyone watching just to be careful. Yeah, thanks for watching my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay.